My name is Rashid. I'm the owner and founder of Quality Food Trucks. And we've been in business for well over 25 years. We specialize in custom building food trucks, food trailers, and food carts. I actually got started in this business by accident. Years ago, had totally, completely different plans. I was actually going to college. I was planning to go to medical school, become a doctor, but I ended up doing what I do now. Like I said, it happened by accident. Well, back in those days, I was going to college, but I was also a food vendor. So what I did was I had a breakfast cart basically, and I used to get started very early in the morning, and we were done about 11 o'clock, 11:30, and then in the afternoons I went to school. So I was just working as a food vendor just to make some money while I was going to school. I never planned on being a food vendor for the rest of my life or doing this. But in the middle of all this, I have always had a passion for building things, working with my hands. Now, even though, my plans were totally different, but my personality and my forte was just to build things. And I've always, ever since I was a child, you can ask my mother, she will tell you, she tells everybody that I love building things. I used to make little statues. When I was a little kid, I used to take I take a little piece of carrot and then cut it and make a little model of Taj Mahal out of it. So basically, I just have a passion for building things and creating things. By the way, I was doing great in college. I got my bachelor's degree, and actually, something, that was one of the best things that I did, because going to college, having education, and doing what I wanted combined was a great thing, because I would have regretted, not only regretted, it would have been a horrible thing for me to drop out of college and just get no education and focus on this. I did both of them. And going to college is helping me today run my business in some aspects. And then, working the blue collar aspect of it is, a different thing. But you have to have education to do anything, including what I do. So one of the things that I did was, my food cart, as you use it, just like anything else, it needs repairs, it needs maintenance. And usually other food vendors, they took it to somebody to repair it, fix it, maintain it. But I always like to do them myself, just because I loved working with my hands and building things and creating things. So then it came to a point where this cart was just too old. I mean, back then we used to go to inspection every 2 years. So right before inspection, we had to, make the cart presentable to pass inspection. But it came to a point where this food cart was just too old to be made presentable. I needed a new one. And again, most people, they go and buy a new one or have a new one built. I decided to build a new one myself. So I asked the owner of this commissary if I could use a little space to build a cart for myself, and he said okay. So, I was basically in my spare time, which was very limited because I was going to college and I was working, so I had a little spare time, but I used that little spare time to build the cart. Now, building the cart, I had never done it before. I didn't know how to weld or fabricate or do any gas lines or electrical or anything. The only thing that I had was just motivation, just the love of building things, you know what I mean? And so as I said, in my spare time, over a period of a couple of months or so, I built the whole thing from ground up. And then when it was finally done, it was beautiful. It was passed inspection with flying colors, and something else happened that I did not intend. So apparently, while I was building this cart in this commissary, in front of all these hundreds of other food vendors, I unintentionally got a reputation as the guy who can build carts. So the next thing I know, all these food vendors, when they need something fixed or repaired or whatever, they say go to Rashid because he knows how to build carts. And before I know it, I have so many people coming to me, and I have a new business. And that's when I decided to lease my food cart and open a shop to build these carts. Back in the 90s, I opened my first shop, which was about smaller than the size of my office today. That was my first shop. And I have been in the same area where I am now in Long Island City, Queens. But my current spot, my current location is around the corner from my old location, nearly almost 30 years ago. Sometimes I pass by that place and it's like a little coffee shop now, and I say, I can't believe I used to work here one day. And then it was me and my sidekick. I had to hire somebody to give me a hand. It took many years of hard work and painstaking work and efforts. Over time, we learned and grew, and now 25 plus years later, we have a fully equipped company with staff, experts on everything from, we have expert welders, electricians, plumbers, graphic designers, sheet metal fabricators. We have, basically everything that we need. I mean, it wasn't done overnight. It's a typical story of follow your passion, persevere, don't give up. And if you do all of those things, I can guarantee you that you'll succeed and you'll reap the reward. So that would be my advice to those who are getting started.